2-2 at Fratton Park. Ipswich Town end 2022 with a 2-2 draw. They come from behind twice and left with a point. The Town not at their best tonight. I think that's very fair to say.
Yeah, I think so, and there's probably reasons for that. It's come straight off the back of a Boxing Day game against Oxford, plenty of illness in the camp. Despite that, McKenna's gone with an unchanged team, said afterwards that he just wanted to keep with the rhythm of the second half against Oxford and allow some of those players like Harness and Evans that have just come back into the team to try and build some relationships going in the team again. But you're right, it wasn't Ipswich at their fluid best tonight. So all in all, I think a draw is probably about right, and I think hopefully, ultimately, it will be a positive point that we look back on.
Yeah, and if you want to go straight for positives, it's coming from behind twice to equalise. One happened very quickly with Cameron Burgess turning home an equaliser after a really, really good free kick to open the scoring for Portsmouth from Marlon Pack, but the other one came late, didn't it? And it didn't feel like that one was going to come, but the fact that it did and Ipswich kept playing, and actually, I'll be honest, the fact that Connor Chaplin went and got the ball out of the net and ran back to try and get play going for the third, that enthused me. But they just managed to find an equaliser, and that's always a positive.
Yeah, we'll stick with the positives. Is another dominating performance in terms of possession for Ipswich Town today. We've been just talking to our counterparts who cover Portsmouth, and they're really impressed with the way Ipswich played today, played through the press, were brave in the way they played out from the back and kept the ball. Danny Cowley, I'm led to believe, has called Ipswich the best League One team he's ever seen. Afterwards, maybe prone to a little bit of exaggeration and hyperbole there. Maybe McKenna might think he's laying some of those tricks and traps he spoke about after the game at Portman Road, but that gives you an idea of how opposition fans and journalists and managers view this Ipswich Town team and the way they play. To flip that on its head as more of a negative, for all that possession, was there enough cutting edge from open play tonight? A goal from a set play that you've mentioned. The equaliser came from a Sam Morsey shot from outside the box that was spilled by the goalkeeper. Rebound finish from Connor Chaplin. Bar a good chance for Ladapo inside the box that he put past the far post. There wasn't any huge gilt-edged chances created massively, was there?
No, and that's the knock on Ipswich tonight. But their principles do shine through, and I think that's the encouraging thing, that they have left this game feeling disappointed with a point on the road at Fratton Park, which most teams would come here. Obviously, Ipswich have lofty ambitions this year. They want to win this league. They want to win automatic promotion. But coming to Fratton Park and taking a point, I think most teams in the league would take that. It's just Ipswich is where Ipswich are and the standards that they've set themselves. The fact they've not done that is a disappointment, and ultimately they're trying to reach these standards, and that's why they're such a good team.
Yeah, it's one win in 13 in the league for Portsmouth now. So if you look at it through that lens, that maybe you think this is a missed opportunity. And you see that Plymouth and Sheffield Wednesday have both won again tonight. Barnsley as well, who are creeping up. Never mind this being a 3-horse race. They've got a couple of games in hand, and we'll have something to say about that. And I guess the years of false dawns and frustrations inevitably leads to a bit of pessimism, that you think, it would be just Ipswich to miss out on the top two, and then everyone would get really nervy about the playoffs. But this was another good performance, I think, from Ipswich, and it's the consistency of the performance levels that gives me hope that they've shown they'll bounce back from a defeat. They'll bounce back from frustrating draws quite quickly. And now they go to Lincoln on Monday night. And Monday afternoon.
Yeah, just like with all these games, the drop point games, the games where they don't hit the heights that they want to, how you view it is so often defined by what happens in the next one, isn't it? We were talking at the start of Christmas, the Christmas period, and I was saying I'd be happy with 7 points through that period. They've got 4 of them. They got 3 very, very good points against Oxford. They've got a decent point here at Portsmouth tonight. Go and get 3 at Lincoln. That's 7 from 3 games. Happy with that.
Yeah. On the positive-negative theme, positive, another goal from a set piece. Tonight, you mentioned it, fantastically, Evans' delivery. Kieran McKenna afterwards said he was really pleased to see them score from a wide free kick. Yes, the corner deliveries and goal output from those has been good for some time, but he was wanting more from free kicks. And Lee Evans obviously being available really helps on that front. delicious ball in, and Cameron Burgess to finish from 6 yards out. Negative was conceding one of those high balls to the back post. That really is becoming a bit of an Achilles heel. Gave away a cheap free kick, switched off a little bit. Portsmouth took it short, and the ball to the far post came down with snow on it. Really, it was a really lofted delivery, and Sean Raggett, all 6'5" of him, gets above a couple of Ipswich Town players, and Colby Bishop gets the smallest of touches on it, and they're back in front, really against the run of play on the hour mark.
Yeah, it was at that point. He's a bit of an issue for Ipswich, Colby Bishop, isn't he? I'm glad they're not playing against him again this season. He just seems to have a habit of scoring, whether it's Accrington or Portsmouth. He did it earlier in the season at Portman Road as well. But yeah, there's a few things with that goal they won't be happy with. It's a bit of a mismatch. Anything with Sean Raggett, who's a big old boy. Anyone other than Cameron Burgess really in that Ipswich team isn't going to have the easiest time with him. A bit of a mismatch there with where he was, and then the ball's dropped, and Bishop's he's beaten players to the ball there as well. So a few things they won't be happy with, but I think ultimately they just have to be content going home. I
think so. You go 1-0 down after 4 minutes. This is a hostile atmosphere to play in. That could easily have unravelled quite quickly. It didn't. I think when they went 2-1 down, my great fear then was Portsmouth brought on some fresh legs up front. They brought on Ronan Curtis, Dane Scarlett up front. Owen Dale looks a real handful for them in a couple of games against Ipswich this season. I thought they might get hit on the counter-attack here, chasing an equaliser. So they stuck to their task, they stuck to their principles, they kept playing. Did it look like that equaliser was coming? No, not necessarily, but it did. And I think that shows good mental strength, and over time, I think we'll look back on this as a positive point for Ipswich Town.